Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children is directed by Tim Burton and stars Asa Butterfield and Eva Green about a young boy named Jake who is told of these stories of a home for these peculiar children run by a woman who can transform into a bird named Miss Peregrine. As a young boy, he believes it at times and doesn't believe it. Well, an event leads to him searching for this home for peculiar children with his father, and he meets these peculiar children and has to protect them from this evil person played by Samuel L. Jackson. This is based off of a book of the same name, which I thoroughly enjoyed reading. So I was kind of excited to see Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and my wife was just looking forward to this movie so much. This was her most anticipated movie for the rest of the year, and we both came out of this movie really disappointed because this movie lacked a lot of good storytelling, good characters, setup. The pacing was bad. Overall, it was just a disappointing movie, but there were some things I did like. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the things I did like, and then we'll get to the bad parts. So the things that I did like learning about some of these children, even though they didn't go in depth to a lot of them. The ones that they did show and kind of talked about, I liked learning more about them from the books. You get to see more about them, and some of their history I liked, and just seeing them do these abilities and these things that make them peculiar, I liked. But we didn't get a lot of them, and that's where it was a down point for the characters, because the characters definitely the best part of the movie, but we didn't get too much of them. And that's all I really have to say that's pretty good about this film, besides maybe a few fight sequences. But overall, this was just very disappointing. From the very beginning, this movie just felt off. The beginning is where I think was the worst part of the film. It definitely started the film very rushed, and the pacing was really bad, and set up this home and these stories his grandpa was telling Jake very poorly. I didn't feel a connection and an importance from Jake to rush out and find this home, a different country from where he lived in Florida. I didn't feel like a connection or a sense of urgency for him, because the stories from his grandpa were really rushed, the setup for his grandpa was really rushed, and overall the storytelling in the beginning was very poorly done, and immediately I just felt off about this film, and just something wasn't right. And it never really picked up, and Jake, the hero in the movie, never really felt like a hero. I never really felt like he was someone that could protect these children and lead to like an awe-inspiring moment throughout the film. I just felt like he was just some ordinary kid, and that was part of the film, is that he was an ordinary kid, but he had something about him that was special, and I never really felt like there was anything truly special about this boy. This movie also got very awkward. At times they were going for a serious action tone, which I think would have helped this movie a lot, but then there were some comedic moments that felt really awkward, especially from Samuel Jackson, who had some very over-the-top acting and just really ruined the moment. Just overall, I did not really enjoy this film. It's sad for me to say, because I was looking forward to it. It was awkward, the setup was really bad, the characters were poorly written, and the film honestly looked cheap. It looked like a poorly used camera. I mean, you know, you got those really high budget look to it. This one, not so much. But overall, this film was very disappointing. I'm going to go ahead and give Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children a C-. So if you guys have seen Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, what did you think about it? Did you guys like it? Have you read the book? I really liked reading the book, and I'm excited to read the other ones. If they make the other ones, I would say switch up directors and see if something can change, because this film was not that great. So this is Just Watch Movies. Remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. You can also find my Facebook page at the same name. The link will be down below for that. This is Just Watch Movies, and you stay classy, YouTube.